Uh, I was fortunate or unfortunate to have covered it from day one till the very end of it. And this particular occasion, Michael had come to visit Lindy. She was in jail because they'd found her guilty of the murder of her baby Azaria, and going to visit her with the kids, and we had to rush back to send them back to the office, but only one of us could go back because, you know, we had to wait for Michael to come out again. So we tossed the coin again, and again I lost. So the opposition photographer took my film back to his office in Darwin and wired the pictures back to both papers. Naturally his went first, but that was the way it was. But while he was gone, I was hiding behind a tree because there was only one tree and it was blazing hot, and I had a very, very long lens, and someone came out from the women's prison and started hanging some washing up, and it looked to me through the long lens like Lindy Chamberlain. Anyway, I took a picture, and maybe it was the flash or something happened, and the woman that was looking after Lindy, a prison wardress, must have noticed the shining from the camera, and she whisked her away and took her back inside. Anyway, I didn't say anything about that I'd taken the picture because I wanted to send the film back to Sydney to get it developed in fine grain developer. So I didn't tell the journalist or the opposition photographer that I'd taken this photo. Anyway, I told the office back in Sydney to put the film through fine grain developer and blow it up and have a look and see if they thought it was Lindy Chamberlain. Next day I get a phone call from the editor of the Sun. In those days it was John Benno, Richie Benno's brother, and he said, "That's Lindy Chamberlain." I said, "Well, hang on, we're not 100% sure." And I said to John Benno, he said, "Well, can you verify that it's Lindy Chamberlain?" He said, I said, "I'll try." So we went to the police who we'd been working with, and I told him what had happened, and he said, "Oh, well, I'll find out." So he rang the prison, and the prison told him that there was only one white woman in jail at that time, and her name was Lindy Chamberlain. And on receiving this news, the opposition photographer, a guy called Graham Fletcher, good friend of mine, almost fainted because he didn't have the photo. And the journalist from the Mirror, a guy called Jim Oram, my journalist was Steve Barrett. Jim Oram said, "Just a minute, we're not finished yet. What we can do to save your life, Graham, and your job, is we'll get the artists at the paper, which they owned. It was a Murdoch paper, the Northern Times, I think it was called. If you can get John Benno to wire the photo back to you, Russ, in our transmitter machine, and when we get the photo, we'll just do an artist job on it, and we'll move the arm with the washing hanging on it to another position." Anyway, picture comes back, the artist gets it, we move the arm, and then Graham Fletcher copies it, and then we wire them back to Sydney. He wires to the Mirror, I wire to the Sun, and I tell John Benno that it is Lindy. He said, "Good, it's the full front page." And Graham's picture editor told him the same. We didn't tell him anything about the painting changing the picture at all. Anyway, it's used on the front page of the Sun, it's used on the front page of the Mirror. Exactly the same photo, except the arm's been moved. And after the editions came out, I got a phone call from the editor. He said, "Great picture, Russ, we've used it on the front page." He said, "But so is the Mirror." I said, "Yeah, well, there's only one tree and we're both standing behind the same tree. You know, we both took it at the same time. You know, it couldn't be helped." He said, "Oh, that's all right, Russ." He said, "There's only one question." He said, the Mirror's picture seems to be better quality than the Sun. I wonder why that is." I said, "I've got no idea." That's the story of Lindy in the jail.